Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are joining us from. Welcome to today's exciting podcast episode. And today we are diving into a crucial topic in the realm of digital identity management, that is, single sign on, or popularly known as SSO. Have you ever wondered what SSO is and why it's becoming a staple in modern IT infrastructure for video streaming solutions? Well, you are in the right place. In this episode, we'll explore the ins and outs of SSO. We'll discuss the common problems that it addresses, such as reducing password fatigue and enhancing security. Then we'll break down how SSO works, making it easier for you to understand the behind the scene magic and keep your online experience seamless when you deploy it. To talk all about SSO and to figure out the best possible SSO solution for your platform, I'm pleased to invite Mr. Gayadhar Khilar, who will help us navigate through this useful piece of technology. With over 11 years of experience across various domains, Gayadhar is a part of Muvi's core engineering division and is responsible for the platform's core architecture, development, and stability. Having worked at Muvi for over 8 years, Gayadhar serves as the Director of Engineering, Customer Success, and Professional Services. His domain expertise lies in streaming technologies for audio, video, and live to stream, and is skilled with several technology stacks, including AWS Cloud, microservice architecture, PHP, MySQL, jQuery, etc. Welcome to the podcast, Gayadhar. Glad to have you on Movie on Mic.
Thank you. Thank you, Sebastian, for the introductions and having me on the show. Hello, everyone. I am Gayadhar Khilar, as introduced by Sebastian. I'm the Director of Engineering Customer Success at Muvi. I'm thrilled to be here today to share insight on exploring SSO and its advantages on implementing it to your website or applications. At Movie, my role is basically overseeing the engineering staffs. Along with that, the priority thing for me is delivering customer delivery and ensuring that we deliver desired solutions to our customers. I've been there at Movie for more than 11 plus years and part of the core architectures team. I look forward to driving into today's discussions and exploring SSO on its advantages. Yeah. Um, Thank you, Sebastian. We can start. Get started.
Okay, so Gayadhar, let me start the discussion. Streaming has an impact on every individual to some extent, we all agree. And security, we also believe, should be synonymous with it. When we talk of security, SSO always pops up. So, what exactly is SSO, if you can explain it to our audience?
Yeah. Thank you. I'll first try to explain what is SSO. Then probably with a simpler example, how SSO work with a real world example, if that helps our audience to understand SSO better. So SSO stands for single sign on. It is nothing but an authentication schema that enables users to securely authenticate with multiple applications and website by logging in at once. You log in once and you can access multiple applications using just one set of credentials. That defines what SSO is all about. Now coming to a real world example, we all of us most probably using Google and YouTube, Photos, lot of Google applications, Drive, etc. So how Google works? Literally, we log into one system. Either you log into your Gmail or YouTube. You log into one applications, but you get access to other applications automatically. So how it happens? It happens through SSO behind the scene. What it does, using your same credentials, Google has multiple applications. They authorize the same users to these applications. If you are logged into, let's say, Gmail, then when you open YouTube, and Google see key you are already there in the same browser or same browser mostly, and what our application itself in the other case, what it does, it internally do a check and validate that the user which is already logged into Gmail has an account with YouTube. So it gives access to your YouTube as the user you logged in to your Gmail account. Same happens with your Drive. Same happens with your photos, etc. Whatever Google applications are there, Google.com also. So uh, all these things happens behind the scene using that SSO only. So yeah, I hope with this example it is quite clear what SSO stands for and how it.
Well, listening to you, I'm quite convinced that SSO is important, going by the example that you gave of Google. Now, going more specific, since the audience listening to us is probably from the streaming industry. So, what problem does SSO solve specifically in the streaming industry?
Yeah, if we come to problems, there are many specifically when like in today's world. What are they? Keeping the hacking in mind. So there are a lot of things we need to address in terms of while creating an account or having the security uh, aspects in mind. Just to have an account, what is most needed or most mandatory, having a stronger security in terms of authentications. Authentication, what it does, like username can be anything, but your password need to be a stronger password. So with SSO, you can implement a secure password management and stronger authentication policy. What it does, like if you define or if you uh, create a stronger password at one system, and you define a policy for authentications or authorization, stronger authentication policy, then whatever system you use using that SSO, it applies to all the system. So every system you logged in, the same policy or same rule would be applied. Regulatory compliance, a new business regulatory compliance like GDPR and other things can be easily adapted if you are using SSO. Like uh, different country or different region has different regulatory policies nowadays. So if we are on SSO, then it is easy to apply that regulatory policy or compliances at one place, and then same can be replicated to all other applications that you are using. Reducing support cost, what it happens ideally when you create an applications and you create a user module or authentications module. What it happens, many cases user are not able to register, user is having issues in login, forgot password, reset password. So all these things happen. But with SSO, what will happen if you get all these things corrected at one system, then you don't need to worry about or bother about the other systems that are using this SSO module on top of the applications. So there you can reduce a lot of support cost or support overhead. Um, where like as an admin, you probably need to spend very less time, or you are creating an applications, you can be very less stressed on user module specifically, as it is handled by the SSO or the SSO module or SSO system that you are using for your applications. The fourth point is it increased productivity. How it increased productivity? User no longer have to remember multiple username and password to access applications or spend a lot of time for lost or forgot password. What does it mean? Like since we are managing this in a single system, so like you are using multiple applications with the same credentials, and forgot password can be easily done with a one applications. Similarly, the user module, like user creations, can be done at one place, and the same can be replicated for all other applications. So that way, it increases productivity as well for the end users who are using the SSO system. So that way it address these are the basic problems that it address SSO address. Yeah.
Okay, so SSO indeed is beneficial practice as it reduces the costs and also in many ways gives more ease of access to the end user as well as to the admins and many other reasons also. So, how does this entire SEO work? If you can explain it to the audience.
Yeah, sure. Since we are on a podcast, so it is not possible for give a pictorial representations, but it could have been better. However, I will try to explain uh, how SSO work and in a simpler way, uh, the best possible way that I can explain myself. Uh, how SSO actually works. SSO works by sharing and verifying login credentials between service and identity provider. What is identity provider? Identity provider is the middleman who identify the users for multiple applications that are being used. So IDP or identity provider has the main role in this SSO operations altogether. How it happens? The website first checks to see whether you already been authenticated by the SSO solutions, in which case it gives you access to the site. If not, redirect to the SSO login system. What does it mean if you are already logged in? Like the way in the previous example or in my introductory comment I have mentioned, if you are logged into Gmail, then you don't need to log into YouTube. It automatically logged you in. That the system does. If you are not logged into any Google applications, what it does, it uh, where login is mandatory, it will redirect you to the login page. Once you enter the login credential, the SSO solutions request authentications from the identity provider or the authentication system. If you are using a middleman for identifying the users, that is called IDP. Or if you are having an internal authentications system, both way you authorize the users, and if it verifies the user, then it gives access to the applications. The SSO solutions passes the authentication data to the website and return you to the site from where you started your journey. When you are authenticated, then what it does, the system auto redirect you to the original system from where you initiated that request. After login, the site passes the authentication verifications data with you as you move through the site to verify that you are authenticated each time you go to a new page. So that is what session does typically in our case. Once you are logged in, many cases where the session expiry time is being checked. So there, what the SSO does in the background, it gives a authentications call to the IDP or the authentication system or authorization system which you are using. Um, There it checks whether you are logged in, whether you are active or not. If you are active, then you can access the site and move. Yeah, that way SSO works typically.
Okay, so I hope this gives an audience some sort of an idea how SSO works. If you want video representation, we also have a webinar on the same topic, and we'll put a link to that in the description of this podcast.
Okay, just to answer how it is beneficial for streaming applications or video management applications on SSO. See, on the streaming applications, our core focus, our um, uh, core area to be specialized on the streaming itself. How the streaming would be, what would be the like a player behavior, what would be the payment module and all these things. But there, user module has a role on streaming specifically. But if you want to limit or if you want to reduce that stress, then SSO would be the best possible options for you to implement to it, and you take advantages on top of whatever applications you are, or whatever system you are using it. In terms of advantages, what it does, it improves security habits, uh, improves identity protections, increase speed, uh, uh, relieves help desk workload, better user experience. I'll try to explain each one by one. What it does, uh, in streaming applications, security is the most, as we are in most of the cases we are doing uh, financial transactions, and IP, intellectual property of the videos. So um, there it is very essential to know your user well. So how it is possible? Obviously, using your own authentication and authorizations method, you can get that done. But if you are going with SSO, that gives you one added advantages. It improves security habits in terms of like applying policy, applying a rule. You can apply rule in one applications, or at one area, that same as the same reciprocate to all other applications using that. And Identity protections, like applying rules or laws of different region. You can apply at one place, or the IDP, or the SSO provider which you are using. If that has all these rules or guidelines being applied at one place, the same applies to your system, be it streaming applications.
Speed. Obviously, you don't need an user authentications module that goes to backend for authentications and authorization.
You can go with a third party SSO or an existing SSO. It increase the speed in terms of a user turning a visitor turning to an user that way. Help desk or support cost, how it reduce in the user module. You probably don't need to invest any time, and the SSO provider has to take care of that, all these things, once the integration is done. So that is one thing that reduces your cost. User experience, in terms of user experience, you like using the same credential, you can access multiple applications, and one forgot password or one reset password can trigger that reset to all the applications you are using. So that way, it gives advantages in streaming applications as well.
Any technology, Gather, listening to you, I believe that any technology from DRM to SSO has some rules that are to be followed, that are set up by the industry leaders. And can you walk us through some of the best SSO practices that are being currently followed in the industry?
Yeah, sure, sure. Sure, Shivasis. Um, there are a lot of best practices that uh, to look for an SSO. Like in advantages sections, I have covered like the key areas or key things to be looked for. But in addition to that, what all things you look for when you are choosing an SSO? The first thing is easy deployable. Things which you are looking for, how easily you can deploy your changes. Like tomorrow there is a guideline changes, and you implement that, and you can easily deploy that to your production system. So that way, easy deployment is something you should look for. Portability, how portable it is, just to adapting a new rules, or applying a new security, or like improving your security authorizations rules. So all sort of things where we can apply a lot of things. So the system should be portable to adapt all these things. Let's say today I am having 8 characters or 8 letter password as the password strength. Tomorrow I want to increase it to, let's say, 12. Then the system should be portable enough just to adapt that quickly. Um, like it um, it must have open standards. What does it mean by open standards? Built using open standards and specifications as far as possible. Open standards or guidelines are there, such as SAML, like a security asset and markup language, the Liberty Alliance project specifications, and the WS security standards. So these are the standards that are being followed by the SSO provider. E.g. of administrations, a web-based or graphical administration console, like the way the previously I was giving. I want to change the password from 8 character to 12. Then if I'm having a admin GUI, then I can get it done quickly. If it has to go through a request, let's say I will drop an email to the service provider and he will do all these changes and deploy and then confirm. So that is very hectic just to have the system. So if I'm having a GUI or admin console where I can do all these changes, small tweak at my end, so then such system can be very handy. Or command line interface. Some cases, some command to be executed in a command line interface. So if that is having, it is also good to have. Security is the most. How secure the system is and what all security practice they are using. So these are certain things we should look for. Data store and embedded or external. What does data store means, such as configurational data, user data, policy data, how these data are being stored. uh, like Tomorrow I have to apply the GDPR compliance on top of this SSO application. So then there the guidelines are there. So how, depending on how these data are being stored, I can apply this guideline. So this is something we just need to look for. Web and non-web based resources, SSO for both web and non-web based applications. Non-web based applications, uh, it is good to have, we are talking about web based applications right now, but if your need is for a non-web based applications, then you look for an SSO which provides a non-web based applications. Performance, scalability, and availability. This is the most important things to look for. The performance need to be very good, because the entry of your user depends on the performance of your SSO. So let's say I'm using Google SSO for my applications, login with Google, and the Google application is slow itself. Then the user coming to my application won't to log into my system because Google's application is slow. So you choose your SSO partner so wisely, so that the performance is very good in terms of your need. Scalability, when there is a high traffic, it can scale up to a certain number of a point where the user didn't face any issue. Availability is as must. If the SSO you are using, if it is not available at all, or intermittently going down, then it will have major impact on your system. So these are the three things very important while choosing an SSO. Flexibility and extensibility. This is something needed to have added advantages, or to add certain things uh, which enhance your SSO. And this is a good to have things. But the previous point which I mentioned is very important: performance, scalability, and availability. Yeah.
Well, that's quite a lot of information, I must say. Can can be confusing too, especially for someone who is starting new into the video streaming industry. But I'm given to understand that Movie offers best SSO integrations as part of their audio and video streaming solutions. So, can you explain our audience how Movie integrates SSO towards in the backend of almost all its platforms?
Yeah, we have a detailed SSO integrations document, but I'll try to explain uh, it to the best possible way I can. And there are different ways to have SSO. Movie actually works in all possible ways. Movie can act independently as an SSO provider or an IDP, and movie has the options to integrate with any third-party SSO applications as well. So the first I would like to explain, um, we have already implemented with multiple open SSO providers. So how it works, when you are on the third-party applications and you click on login, it comes to the Movie hosted applications or the applications which you created on Movie, and it automatically logged into the Movie hosted website because you are logged in the third-party hosted applications. Like just giving one example, if you are having like a mini orange, I'm giving one example which we already implemented. If you are on a applications which is already hosted with like already implemented with mini orange, and you are logged into that system, and from there if you want to redirect to Movie applications, or uh, just get to do, or just want to do SSO with Movie applications, then you can click on there and directly land on the Movie hosted applications with logged in. That way it does. The second thing is key, if you are on the Movie hosted applications and you have to do an SSO with your third party applications, then when you click on the login, it will redirect to the third party applications. There you need to log in. Once you are logged in, then it pulls you back to the Movie applications. So behind the scene, the SSO logged in like a SSO authorizations works. Now coming to current integrations, Movie is already integrated with SAML 2.0. SAML is nothing but security asset and markup language. SAML, how we are integrated with via Chromecast. Mini Orange was something which I was giving my example. We are already implemented, and WTV identity provider. It is an identity provider. We did it for one of our customers. So these are the IDPs we are already integrated with. For all these things, what we need to obtain the entity ID, service endpoint URL for login, service endpoint URL for logout, and signing certificate from Comcast, Mini Orange, or Double TV. So all these things are required. We are also done with Auth 2.0 via Azure, Google, and Apple. So there, what we need client ID, client secret, and API endpoint URL for SSO integrations. So we are already done with Azure, Google, and Apple SSO. Now coming to the third integrations, where Movie act as an IDP and vice versa. Movie act as an IDP, or Movie can integrate with any IDP. So there we provide a end-to-end integrations workflow. I'll try to explain it verbally, but it could have been better if I could have shown a pictorial representations over there. But how it does, like a Movie first, like all these handshake and um, things happen over JWT token only. Muvi provides the JWT like a secret key with the IDP or the third party applications. The third party applications has to store that in the systems. Once that is done, the third party application will initiate a request for creating a users, and Muvi will create that user and provide a reference ID or UID. Using that UID, like third party applications can initiate a request for login. Once Muvi validate that uh, uh, and provide the user informations in a encrypted way in a JWT token to the third party service provider, and the service provider decrypt the token using the secret, and if they are validated, they can log into to the system. So that way we act as an IDP over there, and vice versa. We can integrate with any IDP as well. What does like what are other benefits we are having? Our integrations help. We do flexible options to integrate with any new IDP. As Muvi already has integrated SSO solutions in place, so adopting new IDP would be the easiest options. Overall turnaround time would be much lesser than expectation. Easy to integrate API or tokenized solutions, as Muvi provides customizations on top of the platform. So any custom SSO integrations is possible. Existing API and tokenized solutions expedite the process. Yeah, I think that much on the integrations point. What a Muvi can help. Like all sort of options are there. We are having such backend architectures as an IDP as well. So there, the architecture is super flexible, and the APIs are already available. So that way, Movie provides a smooth and easy integrations for any SSO. If you want to go ahead.
Well, thanks a lot, Gather. That was quite informative, and I'm sure our audiences have got some idea about how SSO works and how they should be looking forward to if they want to integrate SSO to their framework. So that would let's just conclude this conversation. But before that, I have just one last question to ask you, and that is various platforms offer SSO. So why, according to you, should someone choose Movie?
Um, yeah, probably I've explained it in my uh, earlier questions. Just to repeat it again, there are two things which Movie is best at. One is the flexible options to integrate with any new IDP. Number one. Number two is easy to integrate API and tokenized solutions. Uh, in both ways, Movie has that flexibility to adapt any new SSO solutions, as well as any API or tokenized solutions that can be adapted.
Thank you, Gather. That was quite helpful, and thank you for shedding light on the incredible capabilities of SSO and its integration possibilities with Movie, of course. It was great talking to you, and I'm sure listening to this, a lot of our audiences will be inclined to try a lot of Movie products. For all such audiences, we offer a free 14-day trial to most of our products, and you can find a link to try all of them in the description section. That's it for this episode of Movie on Mic. For more such podcasts, you can make sure that you subscribe to Movie on Mic, and also keep a lookout for our website and our social media channels for the latest link to such podcasts and webinars in the future. See you next time with yet another interesting topic with a new guest. Till then, have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Spasis. It's been pleasure being here today, and discussing on SSO. I hope um, your audience, our audience, find the conversation insightful and thought provoking. Um, I would request our audience, if they want to explore more on SSO, or need to understand how SSO works with Movie, they can take a free trial at Movie. Thank you so much for listening, and a big thank you, Sivasis, for having me on the show. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gayadhar. That's it, guys. We conclude. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you.